it went back to what I am used to, which is fantastic. Okay, so I think I can get it from here actually.
You good?
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
Have fun.
Thanks.
I'll be in the dumpster.
Thank you.
Text me when you're done.
Hey y'all! I see a few people hopping on over to the webinar today, so I'm gonna go ahead and get us started this afternoon. Thanks so much for joining me. I am so excited to be chatting with y'all today. Oh, sorry about that, you guys. I had a little bit of a feedback issue. Got it all figured out, so hopefully that doesn't happen again. So let's start over. Let's try this again. It's feeling a little bit like a Monday. I don't know if you guys are having that kind of week. It's just been such a good week filled with so many good things, but I don't know if y'all have ever encountered this, but sometimes even in the midst of a really great season of work and life, we can still feel a little overwhelmed by all the things that are on our plate. So I have really been intentionally trying to choose a heart of gratitude and a full sense of being thankful for all the opportunities that we've been given as business owners and that my family and I specifically have been given. So as we enter into the November season and the Thanksgiving season, that's just truly an attitude that I have been striving to embrace. But that's not why we're on this webinar this afternoon. Instead, we're going to be chatting a little bit more about the heart and all of the great details behind the Illume Retreat, our April 24th through 27th experience. And I am so thrilled to get to chat with you guys a little bit about this and ultimately invite you into a little behind the scenes peek at what's in store for our sweet attendees. So I'm going to give us just a few more minutes here to kind of get things started so that we can really dive in with the bulk of our attendees on the live webinar. But in the meantime, if y'all could do me a huge favor, below your video feed, you should see a little chat box. It should have a little section where you can enter your name and a question. So we're going to be using this as essentially our little chat box during this webinar. So if you have questions that come up as I'm talking and sharing info, feel free to hop in there and give me a shout out. And I will try to carve out some time at the end of this to do a live Q&A with us also, so we can get to all those great questions. So if you ask me something in the middle of the live stream and I don't get to it immediately, I haven't forgotten about you. I'm not ignoring you. I will definitely get to it at the end. But in the meantime, if y'all could do me a big favor, if you could hop into that chat box and let me know if you can hear me and if you can see the screen. What you should see on your screen right now is a slide that says Illume Retreat 2017 Preview. So if y'all could just do me a solid, let me know if that's coming through. The software that I use for my live streaming changed a little bit, so I'm having to kind of finagle my way and get reacclimated with it. So I just want to make sure that everything is set up and it's ultimately streaming properly so we can dive right in and get to the content that is in front of us. So Again, there's a little chat box directly below the video that you should see on your screen. And if you can just pop in and quickly let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me, a quick yes would be so helpful. I would love to hear from y'all. Natalie says that she can hear me and see the slides. That's so fantastic. Thanks for letting me know. Going to give this just a few more minutes as people start to hop on, and we'll get going. Again, if you, for whatever reason, can't hear me, can't see what's on the screen, let me know and we'll try and get that figured out. But if you can hear me and you can see me, I'd love to hear so we can dive on in and get going. All right, I'm seeing some activity in our little chat box saying that y'all can see the slides and you can hear me, which is so great. So let's dive on in. I am really grateful that y'all have carved out a little bit of time in the middle of your busy work week to really chat with me about the Allure Retreat and hear more about it. So basically, what I want to do today is just walk you through a little preview of what is in store for our Allure Retreat attendees next year, and ultimately whether or not this is a great decision for you as well. We would love to have you join us, but I want you to feel confident in that decision, whatever it is. So I am really looking forward to sharing more about this with you. So if you're new around here, you are maybe new to the Allure Retreat, we haven't met before, I want to introduce myself. It's so good to meet you. My name is Bakhtiari, and I am the founder and creative director behind B is for Bonnie Design, which is a boutique branding studio for creative entrepreneurs. That's my first business, but in 2014, I launched the Allure Retreat, and ultimately, I feel so blessed to get to share life with this handsome guy right here, who's my sweet husband, and he also happens to be my college sweetheart. But together, we live in Waco, Texas, which you might have heard thanks to a little show called Fixer Upper, with the most rambunctious and mischievous golden achiever that you will ever meet. As a little family of three, we are big believers in giving grace freely and loving others fiercely and choosing joy every single day. And that is a mission that I try to embody and I try to share through all the work that I do throughout both of my businesses. Now, I created the Allure Retreat in 2014 as a place for small business owners just like you to take time out of the trenches of your everyday business and everyday life in order to find clarity and reflect on the past, dwell in the present, and prepare for the future. This is a retreat that is absolutely designed to help you dig deep into what it means to really build an authentic business that is filled with purpose and enables you to bring value to not only the people that you work with, the people that you serve, but also to those that you love. So surrounded by a small group of industry leaders and a cozy number of like-minded creatives, our attendees each year walk away with a renewed sense of purpose for their businesses, a genuine sense of community, and fresh insight into what matters most to them. All that to say, let me formally introduce you to the Allure Retreat, an intimately restful 3-day retreat designed to inspire and empower you to build a purposeful and an intentional business that can allow you to live, love, and do business well. Join us for an escape from the hustle and the pressures of chasing success, while instead we invest in giving our businesses focus. We engage in intentional community, and we hone in on what matters. I created this little retreat, this little corner of the educational industry to invest and to love on and to pour into business owners who are striving to really build a business that is thoughtful, it's heartfelt, and it's an endeavor that is operating from a clear sense of purpose. Because in our efforts to create a successful business or to provide for our families or to make our name for ourselves, I think we can often forget that our businesses have the potential to offer us so much more than just a paycheck, right? The Allure Retreat exists to help us refocus on building businesses that give us that kind of opportunity to bring that sort of authentic value to our lives and to the lives of others, all while fueling our creative passions and achieving big goals. So when is our next retreat, you might be wondering? Well, it's April 24th through 27th, and it's going to be our third retreat, and I can assure you that it is going to be an experience quite like any other. And that's because we take a unique approach that I personally am proud of. It's something that you probably haven't seen before in the industry, and that's because it's called productive rest, which at first blush might sound a little counterintuitive, but I promise you that it is a truly thoughtful approach that yields big results. So what productive rest is actually is a creative combination of rest and relaxation and active learning that enables us to build the business of our dreams. And we do that through planned periods of goal setting and introspection and educational speaker sessions and hands-on creative breakouts. And ultimately, we walk through a curriculum that leaves you feeling refreshed and empowered and focused as you move forward. With that in mind, our 2017 theme is all about creating from a place of truth. And we're going to spend our time together next April discussing what it means to create your best work from that truthful place, as well as how to uncover what that individual truth looks like to you. So our approach centers around this desire to encourage and really to prepare you to do business well. And that's because for us as a team, it's not about teaching you the latest marketing ploy or the social media platform that everyone's talking about in order to add more to your ever-growing to-do list. Instead, it is about refining your workflow and your systems and your approaches in order to get to the heart of your best work. It is about equipping you to walk away with a clear plan to live the life that you want, that you've dreamed of, and how your business can feed into that. So through actionable takeaways and inspiring conversations and plenty of community building, this is a little retreat that seeks to help you return to what matters most in your life. You'll step away from the busyness of your day-to-day, and I hope that you will return feeling refreshed and inspired and motivated to pursue your big goals. More than the luxury accommodations and the all-inclusive experience, I am truly hopeful that you will walk away with a tribe of like-minded women who believe in you and who are cheering you on to creating that intentional and heartfelt business that you've been longing for. And because of that, in order to create that kind of environment, we focus on keeping the retreat as intimate and as relational as possible, which means that we usually cap registration at less than 15 attendees in order for our speakers to really be able to pour into each person straight from the heart. Instead of, only getting to engage with the speakers every now and then, we create it so you get plenty of one-on-one time with them, you get to really ask them questions, and as a result, we get to pour into your business with our best advice because we know who you are. We've spent a better part of a week figuring out what your work is and how we can hopefully speak truth into you, encourage you, and give you some actionable takeaways that you can go home and build upon. So on top of all of that, keeping our numbers small and intimate means that you really have the chance to get to know your fellow attendees too. So from heartfelt chats over coffee in the morning to brainstorming together on ideas to ultimately take your business to new heights. We think that community thrives in all sorts of environments, but we're most productive and we're most effective in small and powerful numbers. And for our Waco retreat, we're doing something that we have never done before. It's a little bit scary and ultimately really exciting. And that's, we're limiting registration to just 8 attendees in order to make these truly one of a kind and so powerful for every single person involved. Now, what are we going to be talking about during these 3 days with 14 people? What is that going to look like? It's going to be super cozy. It's going to be so relational, but what is that curriculum going to be based on? We've chosen a theme for 2017 that is something that is really near and dear to my heart, and I am absolutely thrilled to be devoting our full curriculum next spring to creating from a place of truth. Our 2017 theme was born out of dozens of conversations with creative entrepreneurs just like you who are struggling. They're struggling with how to bring to life the kind of purpose-filled and passion-fueled work that they long to do. More than learning how to take their business idea and make it a reality, these are businesswomen who are hungry to learn how they can breathe life into the big and grand and sometimes scary dreams that live deep within. Well, friend, I believe that there is a truth that lies within you, the kind of heartfelt work that you were created to do, and it's too unique, it's too valuable, and it is too honest to be kept a secret forever. I am talking about the kind of work that you were born to create, not the kind of work that you see others in your industry doing, not the kind of work that your ideal client might want necessarily, because perhaps your ideal client is someone that you've constructed based on what you see others in your industry or maybe even in a similar niche doing. But if we're truly honest with ourselves and we truly listen deep, I believe that we can find that voice deep within in order to determine how we can create the kind of work that represents who we are at the core. The honest and authentic work that is begging to be brought out from the deep within your heart. So together, we're going to explore what inspires you, what sparks your passion, and why that matters. And then we'll spend 3 full days exploring how you can breathe life into this newfound sense of truth through actionable steps and intentional choices. Our entire curriculum is designed to lead you step by step through a better way of work and life, one that is fiercely authentic and is wholly practical. So what that looks like is, first, we dive into the very heart of why you do what you do and why that matters, not just in the industry, but in the world. Then we'll bring that newfound sense of truth to life through a heartfelt representation that shares your work in a fiercely authentic way. Next, we're going to get serious about how to share your work with those who need it most, your client and your audience. And lastly, we'll determine how to make this passion profitable with strategic planning and financial counsel. With a mix of inspirational and practical breakout sessions on topics like wellness and self-care and intentional goal setting, you're going to walk away from our April 24th through 27th retreat with a renewed sense of clarity and a practical sense of purpose. Now, all of this that I just described, this is work, but this is also work that requires honesty with yourself and vulnerability and a willingness to do this kind of work. But I believe, and I know that all of my sweet speakers also believe, that this is work that is truly worth doing. Now, you might be wondering where all of this heartfelt exploration and excavation is going to be taking place, and I am really excited to share that I am making a little bit of a change in where the Illume Retreat has been hosted in the past, and I'm bringing it to Waco. So if you've been following the Illume Retreat for a while now, you probably know that the last 2 retreats we've had have been in Austin. So why all of a sudden change that up and take the retreat to a new city? Well, in all honesty, friends, if I'm being honest with you, the Illume Retreat is a vulnerable process. Everything that I just talked about a minute ago, it's a vulnerable process. It's worthwhile, but I'm asking you to really dig deep into what you want for your life, not just your business, but your life. So we walk you through a curriculum that asks you to explore the very core of your life's best work, why you do what you do, and what you want for your life. And in many cases, this takes honesty with yourself and bravery to walk through the tough questions with us, and also a vulnerability to share those discoveries with our group of speakers and attendees. So the more that I thought about it, the more I realized that Waco was the perfect choice for our 2017 experience. Because ultimately, I could never imagine a better place to invite you to walk through that vulnerable experience with me than in the comfort of my own home studio. That's right, I am actually bringing the Illume Retreat to the B is for Bonnie studio for life-changing speaker sessions, hands-on breakouts, and heartfelt chats as we equip you to do your life's best work. From the stunning limestone cliffs in Cameron Park to the towering pecan trees that bend over neighborhood streets to the sweetest tea sense of Southern hospitality that lives in everyone you're going to meet, Waco is such a great place to take away to invest in yourself. Together, we plan on trading our laptops for warm cups of coffee as we gather around my fireplace to honestly explore what it means to create this kind of work in a way that only you can. and how you can actionably infuse that core sense of purpose into every facet of your life and your business moving forward. Let's step away from the hustle and let's walk away from the endless day-to-day of our businesses in order to experience a productive sense of rest, dream big, and plan for the future. You might be thinking that sounds fantastic, but who exactly is this retreat experience for? Well, friend, let me answer that for you. The Allure Retreat is created for boss ladies who are tired of hustling. They're tired of hustling for their self-worth, and instead of working for external approval, she is ready to work from a place of truth, a place of confident self-assuredness that is richer than any external reward ever could be. The Allure Retreat is for the creative who dares to believe her story is not defined by likes or followers or comments. It's for the dreamer who knows that her life can look fuller and richer and more wholehearted than ever before. This is an experience for the world shaker who is ready to stop playing small with her dreams and pursue a purpose-filled way of life and business through actionable strategy that enables her to bravely step forward in the direction of her dreams. She's ready to do the work and she's ready to make it happen. This is for the creative who desires to refresh her spirit, the big dreamer who craves a way of doing business intentionally and from the heart, and the boss lady who seeks to walk away with a tight-knit community of like-minded women who are cheering her on to a life well lived. Whether you've been in business for 5 days or 5 years, there is a space for you here. What I love about the Allure Retreat is that this is a retreat experience that is for all creatives from every end of the spectrum. From creative attorneys to calligraphers to artists to photographers to wedding planners, we have had so many vibrant, diverse people represented at this experience. And so I'm hopeful that as you take a look at our photos on our website, as you explore our social media, you will see that there is absolutely a space for you here also. So what are some of the juicy details of the Allure Retreat? Well, it was a big part of my heart to make this experience all-inclusive because I want you to really be able to feel like you don't have to worry about a thing when you're here. You just have to get to Waco and I will take care of the rest. So it's all-inclusive, which means that your registration covers absolutely everything from your lodging for the nights of April 24th through 26th at the beautiful Harp House, which if you're a fan of a little show called Fixer Upper, you might have seen this house actually featured on there. This is one of the homes that Chip and Joanna Gaines redid in season 1. And it is a beautiful 2-story house that has been expertly remodeled with cozy living spaces and light-filled bedrooms. And it's actually right next door to Harp Design Studio, which you might have also seen on the show also. So it's just kind of a fun little piece of Waco and a little piece of the Fixer Upper experience that has brought some great attention and some great tourism to our city. So your registration covers your lodging in this beautiful house. And on top of that, it covers 4 speaker sessions that are led by our sweet industry leaders, 3 breakout activities that are designed to really hone your creativity or teach you a valuable new skill. We also like to include all meals and snacks and beverages for the duration of the retreat so that you ultimately don't have to worry about a thing. And your registration also includes more thoughtfully curated surprises and gifts and all sorts of goodies that I can't quite spill the beans on yet. But all this to say, I want this to be a restful experience for you, which is why this is the way that it is. It's all-inclusive. It's created so that all you have to do is just get yourself to Waco and we'll take it from there. But this experience really wouldn't be complete without the presence and the involvement of our incredible speakers and staff. These are women who are as kind-hearted as they are business savvy, and I know that they already cannot wait to get to know you. Every single speaker and every single guest teacher has been hand-selected because they are true examples of what can happen when you choose to pursue an intentional way of doing business straight from the heart. So rather than chasing the industry's definition of success, they have defined what success means to them. and they've gone after it wholeheartedly. But more importantly, I know that they want to teach you everything that they know. Each of these women have actually joined us at the Loom Retreat before as speakers, so I can personally vouch that these ladies know their stuff. So first up, we have Katie, the founder and publishing editor of Cottage Hill magazine, who will be guiding us step by step through her signature approach called Assured and Well, that will allow us to dig deep into the heart of our truth as creatives. After Katie's session, we're going to walk away with clarity and a renewed sense of purpose that we're going to spend the days to come hashing out through practical strategy and some clearly measured goals. I'm so excited because Katie's also going to be leading us through a breakout session on wellness. As entrepreneurs, our sense of self-care is often, I think it's one of the first things to go in times of busyness. At least it is in my life. And I'm really looking forward to learning from Katie on this topic as she challenges us to explore what wellness and what self-care can look like in our own lives. Next up, we're going to be learning from Shanna Skidmore. Shanna is a financial expert, a business strategist, and a life coach. And she is going to be leading us through a session on defining enough, how to find freedom in our finances. She's going to teach us how we can take this newly found sense of purpose and truth that we just identified with Katie and fund it and ultimately bring it to life through smart goals and an achievable bottom line. Shanna is also going to be leading us through a breakout session later during the retreat on goal setting. So we're going to leave with not only notebooks filled with ideas, but specific steps we can take to make them happen when we get home. Our next speaker is wedding photographer and marketing maven Jenna Kutcher. Jenna Kutcher is such an incredible boss lady, and she has such a big heart for teaching entrepreneurs how they can connect with their ideal clients simply by being themselves. And this spring, Jenna is actually going to teach us how to cultivate and foster a sense of community as you connect with your ideal client. So at this point in the retreat, we'll have tapped into this place of truth. We'll have figured out how to realistically provide for it and ourselves financially. And now we'll learn how we can use all of that and that calling to reach the people who need it the most. And lastly, you're going to be hearing from me. As a brand designer and a strategist, I am really passionate about teaching businesswomen how they can represent themselves authentically through their visual brand and through their overarching brand strategy. I'm going to focus my energy on teaching you how to create a brand that looks and feels and sounds like you, and one that honors your truth. We're not going to be learning about how to create a brand that gets lost in the crowd. Instead, we're going to focus on the specifics of creating a brand that serves as a true reflection of your core values, your mission, and your truth. I'm also so excited to lead a final session on our very last day of the retreat, where all of our speakers are going to gather together and work with you individually to figure out what's next. Like I said, I don't want you to walk away with a notebook filled with ideas that you'll never be able to implement, or worse, that you'll just forget about when you get home in 2 weeks. So instead of sending you back to your business without a plan, we're going to hash out that plan together. And it's going to be such a sweet time of goal setting and planning and chasing full force after the life and business that you're dreaming of. Doesn't this sound just like the intimate and educational and impactful retreat that you've been longing for, friend? If so, I would love to invite you to join us next spring right here in Waco. Your all-inclusive registration is actually going to, well, I was going to say that it goes on till tomorrow at 9 a.m., which is what we've been telling everyone, but at the last minute this afternoon, I decided that as a special surprise for you guys, I want to do something a little different. So instead of registration opening up for y'all tomorrow at 9 a.m., like everyone in our Instagram following has been hearing, instead I'm actually opening it up this afternoon for y'all. And what I'm really excited about is this is actually one of our most competitive rates that we've been able to offer so far. I've really been thoughtful about trying to intentionally put together an experience that makes good use of your finances as well, because I know that investing in your business is just that. It's an investment. And putting down any amount of money for yourself and for your business can be a little intimidating, which is why I've also created a flexible payment plan option. So for a one-time deposit of $500, you can actually reserve your seat to the Loom Retreat with the remaining balance split into 3 equal payments to follow. Like I said at the beginning, we're limiting registration to just 8 attendees in order to truly preserve the relational and the intentional nature of this retreat. That said, we did open up pre-registration to our email community waitlist a few days ago, which means we're already down to just 5 seats. So if you've been waiting to join us next spring here in Waco, then I have some really exciting news. Like I said, and I'm horrible with surprises, you can register today. Registration is now open, and you can snag your seat to join us right now. Registration officially opens to the public tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Central. But if you want to make sure that you absolutely have reserved your seat while you still have a chance, then this is a great opportunity to go ahead and take advantage of the fact that this experience is now open. I'm so thrilled to really be opening these doors and giving y'all a little opportunity to sign up for the payment plan or just think about it a little bit more before doors officially open tomorrow morning and these seats fly off the shelves, so to speak. Now, I know that it's all well and good hearing me go on and on about the retreat. I mean, after all, I did create it, and it's so near and dear to my heart. But I would love for you guys to hear from some women who've actually walked through this experience before, who have been wholeheartedly invested in this experience and who have been brave enough to show up to do the work and have been blown away by the results. So I want to introduce you to Ashlyn. Now, Ashlyn is a copywriter for creatives and a calligrapher based in Georgia. And this is what Ashlyn has to share about her experience that she had with us this past April. Before Illume, I was 3 months into full-time and totally overwhelmed with my business. I knew the why behind what I wanted to do, but I had no idea the what, like exact offering packages and how to scale them. It was a hot mess. I'd also never even been to a creative conference. The whole world of creatives was new to me, and I was so nervous. But Illume changed my business completely. I was poured into by women that I'd admired from afar for months, and here I was sitting shoulder to shoulder with them in front of a fireplace as they steered and shaped my business, encouraged me, pointed out my blind spots, and told me a specific Ashlyn-shaped hole in the market I could fill with my own gifts. Looking back at Illume, for me, it's where the magic in my business really caught traction. It changed it all. Next up, I want y'all to hear from Sarah. Now, Sarah was one of the attendees at our very first Illume retreat in October of 2015. And I love what she has to share about the sense of community that she experienced at the retreat. Sarah says that being an entrepreneur can feel pretty lonely. While it's exhilarating to work to create something you love and are passionate about, it also can start feeling like you're on an island of ideas, uncertainties, and even celebrations. Being able to gather with other female entrepreneurs at Illume was such a special time for me. Because of the small group size and relaxed setting, conversations were candid and felt like they were between friends. The Illume retreat developed relationships, opened up conversations, and reminded all of us that we are not so alone in our struggles to create something excellent in the world. I left feeling encouraged, re-energized, and supported by a whole new group of boss ladies from across the country. And lastly, I want to introduce you to Christina. Christina is a creative attorney for small business owners and is such a tenacious and truly passionate woman. And Christina, when she decided to join us at our 2015 retreat, she was just getting her footing with her business. And I remember When she walked up to introduce herself to me at our icebreaker session on the very first day, she actually struggled to confidently tell me what she did because she was still trying to figure out how her work fit into the industry and how she could own her gifts and what she was called to do. And if you are familiar with Christina Scalera today, you will see that this woman is not timid about who she is and what she has to offer. She has boldly and bravely stepped into the calling and to the Christina-sized little hole in the industry that is just for her. But this is what Christina had to say about her experience at the Loom Retreat. She says, "If I had passed on a loom, I'd still be hiding at my kitchen table behind blog posts I know no one is reading. Meager attempts to find new clients and pretty pictures on Instagram that 10 people see. That's comfortable, but it's not helping anyone, least of all myself. Instead, and because of the loom, I'm enjoying the satisfaction of helping hundreds of creative entrepreneurs through educating them or advocating for my clients' interests legally. I have the best clients in the world whom I absolutely adore, and I wake up to a job I love every day. We read about it all the time, but this is real life for me now. This dream I thought was only possible for the people who were smarter, earlier, more whatever than me. This dream is not just for them. This dream is for me and you. If you want to learn about metrics and SEO and likes, a Loom is not the place for you. But if you want to build a business you love, surrounded by supportive, brilliant community, a Loom is an investment that you cannot miss." Like I said before, friends, registration for this 3-day all-inclusive retreat opens to the public tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Central, but you can reserve your seat right this instant via the link on your screen. Our April 24th through 27th retreat is the only retreat that we have planned for 2017. So if you've been longing to join us in the past, I really hope that you will be able to gather with us around the table then. If you have any questions about our curriculum, our payment plan options, or even travel plans, please feel free to email me directly at the address that you see on your screen. I fully understand that deciding to invest in your business through this type of educational experience is just that. It's an investment. And I want you to feel truly confident in your choice, whatever it may be. And if you'd like some help as you navigate this decision, please feel free to get in touch. Feel free to shoot me an email, and I'd love to chat with you about it. Now, like I said at the beginning of the retreat, at the beginning of this webinar, there's actually a little chat box underneath the live video feed where you can pop in any questions you have, any comments you might have. If you joined us a little later, if you came in the middle of the webinar, I'd love to do a live Q&A with you guys and just dive into any questions that you specifically have. So if you have anything that you'd like to discuss here as a group, you're welcome to shoot that into that chat box, or if it's something you would prefer to discuss one-on-one, like I said, you're absolutely welcome to shoot me an email on the screen. So if you are thinking about joining us, if you're still kind of weighing your options and trying to figure out if this is a retreat that's really going to be a good fit for you, feel free to take advantage of that live chat option, and I would really love to dive into those questions and kind of unpack them with you. So we have a few questions that are kind of trickling in, so I'm actually going to dive on in and really get started on those. So I think this is a question from someone who might have hopped in after we'd already gone over this info, but just as kind of a refresher, for those of you who are wondering how many people are attending, in order to keep the atmosphere as intimate as possible, we're actually limiting registration to just 8 attendees. And if you add in our 4 speakers, this is such a cozy number that really allows us to invest in each other and focus on building relationships and ultimately tailor our content specifically to your business. But all that to say, there's space for 8 attendees total, but we opened up early access registration to our wait list a few days ago, and 3 seats are already filled, which just leaves us with 5 available seats. So if you've been wanting to join us and you think that April is absolutely the time, then I would so encourage you to take advantage of this opportunity to register a day before the rest of the public and reserve your seat either through our flexible payment plan option, or you can also pay in full if you prefer to go that route. And just to speak to it again, if anyone has a question about payment plan options, yes, there is a payment plan available. I know that investing in your business can be costly, and I do not take it lightly that you have chosen to invest your hard-earned dollars with me. So I would love to discuss payment options with you before you purchase your ticket if you are still kind of curious about that. What we have the payment plan set up as right now is a one-time deposit of $500 to reserve your seat. And then the remaining balance is split into 3 equal payments. But if you still take a look at those numbers and it's not quite comfortable with your budget, I would be happy to chat with you more and we can figure out terms that really work for you also. You can get in touch with me directly at the email address that is on your screen. It's bonnie@bsforbonniedesign.com. Let's see. Got a few more questions that are popping in. And if you hear me answering these questions and you have a question also that you would like answered, please feel free to go to the chat box that is directly below the video, and you can pop in your name and an email if you'd like, and you can share whatever question you might have. So feel free to hop in here if you have a question also. So, here's a fun one. It's kind of a more practical one. What is the dress code at the Illume Retreat? For this, I would really encourage you to wear what makes you feel comfortable, what makes you feel confident, and really makes you feel good in your own skin. This is a retreat that together as a group, we're all about taking a step back and really refreshing your soul and receiving a renewed sense of perspective for your business. So, whatever makes you feel comfortable. Things like jeans and leggings and light layers and flats, or maybe even some cute ankle boots are always appropriate. Hopefully at this time of the year in Texas, it will not be miserably hot yet. So light layers are a great idea. And also, we're going to be indoors for the majority of our speaker session. And with, most rooms, air conditioning can make it feel a little bit chilly. So maybe bring a cardigan that you feel comfortable with or something like that, so that you have the option of kind of layering up a little bit if things get a little chilly either in the morning or during our day sessions. Okay, want to give y'all a few more minutes to get in any questions you might have as we go over kind of some Q&A and just chat a little bit more about the retreat and who this is for and stuff like, what to pack and all that great stuff. There's actually an FAQ page on our website. If you go to illumeretreat.com/FAQ, you can also see some of the more commonly asked questions like what airports you can fly into and stuff like that. So go check that out if you also have questions that we don't get to today or that we don't get to via email afterwards. If you're wondering if you need to bring anything particular, if you are deciding to sign up for the retreat and you're wondering, okay, aside from clothes, what should I pack? You don't really need to bring anything in particular. Since it's an all-inclusive experience, we really do try and provide you with anything you could need. We're also going to be making sure that you have notebooks and writing utensils so that you can take some great notes and really be fully invested in the speaker sessions and in our breakout discussions. And with that in mind, I actually would ask that you leave the things like laptops and iPads at home, at your Airbnb home, so that we can really invest in what's in front of us, and we can minimize distractions that always seem to pop up whenever technology is present. The harp house that we are going to reserve that we've actually already reserved for you amazing attendees has Wi-Fi. So if you need to be able to stay connected with email or stay in touch with maybe an assistant or a client while you're on the road, you will be able to do that kind of in our off time. We've got plenty of really cozy and comfy living areas in the Harp House where you can curl up with a cup of coffee and your laptop if you need to. But if you can, if this is a season of work where you can really invest and give yourself the gift of having 3 full days completely unplugged, I would so encourage you to do that. Disconnect from your phone, disconnect from your iPad and your computer. Put up that autoresponder. Let your clients know that you're going to be in Waco for a few days, and come join us and meet with us here. But I understand that everyone's workload is different, everyone's commitments are different, so we do want to make sure that our attendees have access to the internet and all that great stuff whenever you would actually need to use it. Okay, great questions, y'all. Thanks so much for popping these in. Okay, we've got a few more questions that are coming into our chat box, which I love to see. So one question is from someone who is planning on starting a business in January, but won't officially have things up and running yet. So would it be a good time to attend, or would you recommend waiting until I'm further along? Well, that is such a fantastic question, and I so appreciate you sharing that with me. Honestly, I think it depends on how you're wanting to start your business. I think that if you are wanting to receive actionable insight on your specific products or services after you've had a chance to really dive into them, then maybe giving yourself some space to come at a later date would be a good idea. But if I were you, I would want to start my business off on the strongest foot possible, and I would want to come away, whether it's with the Allure Retreat or whether it's through another educational experience, and really discover the best way that I can set myself up to be building a business that is founded from that clear sense of purpose and that place of truth that we've been talking about. So if you are interested, and if you have availability in your April schedule, with that point in your business of still being so fresh in it, I think that honestly, our speaker group would be able to pour into you so much and help set you up for success, so that as you start to create products or services, you really start to build that client base, you have a very specific set of goals and action steps that you can build upon. And like I said, ultimately it depends on where you think that you could receive the most help. If you want insight and encouragement and a sense of community to come alongside you as you're starting that business strong, then I really do think this would be a very useful opportunity for you. But if you would prefer to kind of dive in and then receive feedback on your work after you've had a chance to produce it, then perhaps attending a different educational event or coming and joining us at a later date would be a good idea. I don't want to pressure anyone into coming to this retreat. I want you to feel really confident in the decision that our curriculum and our speakers and our approach is right for you. In the past, we have had businesses represented through different creatives and business owners at the retreat who were in their first year of business, who were in their first few months of business. And we've also had business owners who'd been around for years and years and years. So what I love about our attendee base is that we have such a diverse group, but our curriculum can be tailored to people at all ends of the spectrum. So whether you're just getting started or whether you are a seasoned pro, we can tailor our content to meet you right where you are. So you don't have to sit through, like business 101 stuff if you aren't there. But if that is, exactly what you want to be unpacking and you want to be diving into, we can tailor our content to meet you in your current season of business and your current season of life. So I hope that helps answer your question. If you have a follow-up question based on that, or if I was a little unclear on anything, please feel free to pop more info into the chat box, and I'd really love to help you continue to navigate this decision. I really see the value from our attendees who've joined us in the past, who came and walked through this experience with us when they were in their first few months and even their first year of business and looking at where they are now in their businesses. I've really been impressed to see how they took the curriculum and took our feedback that we gave them and really implemented it into their approach, into their workflow, and even into the way that they market themselves moving forward. So all that to say, feel free to let me know if you have any follow-up questions or if I can continue to shed light on that topic as well. Okay, we have some more questions that are popping in, and one question is kind of what is the average age range of the women that are attending? Well, we have women from all over the spectrum. I think that on average, the women who join us are in their mid-20s to I'd say early 40s. So we have a pretty diverse group joining us. This isn't something that is just for women who are in one season of life. We really want to be meeting all of us right where we are, because as women and as business owners, there's so many different hats that we wear. You know, we are entrepreneurs and CEOs and, you know, friends and wives and mothers and, you know, so many different things that we really, you know, include in our lives and that we get to wear on a regular basis. So I think that there's a really diverse group there where we get to kind of come and join together in all of our different walks of life and encourage each other, pour into one another, help each other where we can. Honestly, some of the conversations that I've had with even some of our youngest attendees have been such a blessing to me, because no matter where you are, no matter your age, no matter your experience, there's always so much to be gleaned from one another and from these relationships that we're building with each other. So just to put it simply, though, to answer your question, mid-20s to early 40s, but there's no cap. All ages are welcome. So I hope that answers your question. If you have a more specific question or, you know, a follow-up question that was inspired by my response, feel free to pop that in and let me know. Natalie, so glad to hear that response was helpful a few minutes ago. Thanks for that feedback. Okay. Another question that's coming in, would you be willing to look at our blog and help with suggestions if our blog is a big part of the business? Yes, so that's a fantastic question. During the entire retreat, we do get to carve out a lot of one-on-one time with speakers and attendees. So we get a chance to really look at the specific questions that you have, any specific pain points where you're wrestling or struggling and you really want some feedback. So if your blog is one of those things where you want to pull someone like Jenna aside for a few minutes in a small group discussion or in some of our free time, then you absolutely have a chance to get to do that. And actually, part of the what's next session at the very end, our final kind of conclusion session, where we sit down and we meet with every attendee and we give you feedback and we give you things to work on as you move forward. And part of that is your marketing plan. And your blog would definitely fall under your marketing plan. So we would definitely be able to give you some feedback on your blog and kind of help you tailor which direction it should go, help to kind of figure out what that can look like moving forward. So I hope that answers your question. Again, if you have a follow-up question, or if I was unclear about something, please feel free to pop into the chat box and I would love to help you with that also. Y'all have been so fantastic with these great questions. I so appreciate you guys really sharing with me and letting me know kind of what's on your mind and what you're thinking about and how I can help you navigate this decision. So I want to give us just a few more minutes. I don't want to take up all of y'all's afternoon today. I know that it's the middle of the work week. We all have plenty of stuff to do. So I just want to give us a few more minutes, though, to get to chat a little bit. And like I said, if there's a question that you would rather not discuss on the webinar, my email address is on the screen right now, and you are always welcome to shoot me a note, and I would love to chat with you one-on-one that way. Okay, so let's see. So a follow-up question to the question about looking at the blog and helping with suggestions on that. Erica shares that she is her business and she's looking to build it. She has a blog and a YouTube channel where you give tips and suggestions for home and living the best life possible. My goal is to show that we can all live the best life possible. Would this be a retreat for me? Erica, I definitely think so. I think that if you are coming from a place of wanting to inspire others to live the best life possible, it's always helpful to have a clear understanding of how you can be creating your best life possible and how your business fits into that as well. So through diving into our curriculum of creating from a place of truth, we will get really specific and really dig deep into your purpose as a business owner, how that fits ultimately into your life, into the impact and the legacy that you are leaving when it's all said and done. And then from there, we're going to talk about how to bring that purpose to life through your finances, through the goals that you're setting, through the actionable steps you're taking to market your work to your audience, and then ultimately in the brand that you're building. Without knowing all the specifics of your business, I do think that is content that could really help you continue to bless others through your YouTube channel and through the blog that you share. But if you're hearing that curriculum and you feel like those are topics that you already have a pretty good grasp on, I totally respect that. I want this to be a really great fit for you. But with what I do know, I do feel like this is a curriculum that could really help you continue to impact your audience in really lasting and intentional ways. So I hope that helps. And again, if you have any other follow-up questions, feel free to shout them out in the chat box. I'm happy to go over any of this with y'all. Okay, and just to remind you guys about about our registration terms, we have just a handful of seats available. I mean, we are so close to filling up, which is really exciting. So if you've been wanting to join us, you actually can skip the wait. Registration opens to the public tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central, but as a little thank you, as a little gift for being on this webinar and for sharing some of your afternoon with me, I want you to be able to register right now. So there's a link on your screen. It's bit.ly/illumitreat-waco treat-waco. I'm so excited. I can't even get the dashes right. And if you go there, you can reserve your seat right now. You can either pay in full and receive your all-inclusive registration, which covers your lodging, all of our speaker sessions, all of our breakout sessions, plenty of small group time, plenty of one-on-one time with speakers, all of your lodging for the duration of the retreat, transportation to and from the Heart House to our the Bees for Bonnie studio for our meetings, all meals and drinks and all kinds of goodies and surprises. We really love to be able to shower y'all with just some sweet and thoughtful goodies that will enhance your experience. And so all of that and more is definitely included in your registration. So if you are ready to invest in us, if you're ready to join us around the table this April, that link that's right there on your screen, if you go there, you can snag your seat today. And like I said, if you want to discuss more about your business, if you want to share more about your current season of work or your current season of life and figure out whether or not this is where you should be in April, I would really love to help you navigate that. So you can shoot me an email at bonnie@beesforbonniedesign.com, and I'd really be just delighted to walk through that with you and to chat with you about it. One of my favorite stories that I heard when I was chatting with a past attendee from our April session, the session that we had earlier this year, is this is a woman who came to me, and she was so upfront with me when she signed up last year. She said that she was really burned out in her business, and she was exhausted, and she felt like she had lost her creativity, and she felt like she just didn't have any sense of passion for what she was doing anymore because she was so overworked and she was tired. And coming into the Allure Retreat, ultimately she was just looking for a time to get away and to find that sense of rest that we promise to our attendees. But when she walked away from that experience, she told me that it changed everything for her because she felt a renewed sense of passion. She felt like she could be creative again. She felt like she could pour herself back into her work because she had a verve and a passion and an excitement for it. And because of that, as a result of that renewed sense of passion that she feels for the work that she does, she's actually starting a completely new business endeavor that's really going to bless others in her own industry. It's essentially a business experience for other business owners. And I don't want to spill all the beans on her project just yet, but I've been able to talk with her and keep in touch with her after our April experience and see how she's been growing and see how she's been investing in this experience that ultimately came because she decided to invest in this 3-day retreat in the middle of Texas last April. And she came and she did the work and she opened her heart and her mind to what we had to share with her. And as a result, she walked away feeling passionate again and feeling creative again. And if you've ever been in a season of feeling kind of a creative sense of dryness, of almost like that well that's within you is a little low. Maybe it's not as full as it was before. This is an experience where, if that's the only thing that you're hoping to take away, as we talk about where your purpose comes from in your business and how we can use that sense of purpose to create longevity in your business, I really believe that it can refill that creative well within you. It can give you the space to take some time away from the day-to-day. You can take some time away from kind of the trenches of your daily business and what that process looks like for you. And instead, you really get to invest in yourself. You get to reconnect with the heart behind why you do what you do. And you get to strategize with a small group of industry leaders, and we get to exactly walk you through a process of how you can use that sense of passion and purpose to market to your ideal client. Because it's not just enough for us to know why we do what we do if we don't know how to implement that in a way that positively impacts our bottom line. The Allure Retreat isn't about filling your head with fluff and pretty ideas that aren't going to matter to your bottom line in the end, because as business owners, if our businesses are not profitable, we cannot provide for our families, we cannot provide for ourselves, and ultimately we cannot create the kind of work that serves our clients in the long run, because we're going to be operating from a place of stress and financial fear, which is why, oh my goodness, I'm so excited to have Shanna joining us as our financial expert, who's going to be talking about what it means to define enough and what it means to figure out what that number is, so that you don't have the guesswork of figuring out how your finances fit into the business you're building. You can directly see the correlation between how the finances aspect is not overwhelming. It doesn't have to be rocket science or give you a headache. It can definitely be freeing and give you the space to create the kind of work and create the kind of life that you want for yourself and you want for your family in the end. So all that to say, thank you guys so much for joining me this afternoon. I've really loved getting to chat with y'all. I so appreciate you taking the time out of your afternoon to listen to more about the heart behind the Allure Retreat and get a little idea of what this experience is really going to look like for our sweet attendees next spring. This special offer just for y'all, where you can register early for the Allure Retreat. You can kind of get in there before registration opens to the public tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. right now. If you go to bit.ly/allume-retreat-waco, that bold link that is right there on your screen, you can sign up via our flexible payment plan, or you can pay for your seat in full. I would so love to see you there. It would just make my heart soar to be able to give you a big hug next spring. And like I've been saying, if you have any other questions, if you need anything at all, if you want to continue to process this decision and see if it's a good fit for you, please feel free to shoot me an email at the address on your screen. It's Bonnie@BisForBonnieDesign.com. Y'all have been such a fantastic audience. Thank you so much for sharing your questions with me. You had really some great ones. So I hope that this has been helpful for y'all, and I hope that this is giving you a more clear idea of whether or not this is a retreat experience that ultimately could be for you. So Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I hope to see you next spring at the Illumergy.